Hey, it's Russ and Lauren. It is Vinyl Sunday. And recently on the channel, we talked about a trip to Gainesville that we took where we stopped in at a record store that we really liked. Here Again Records, yeah?
I think so.
Yeah. And Lauren found a reissue of a record that she liked a whole lot there. And I had just the night before said to you, oh, well, I just need to find a copy of Journey Frontiers because it's got Separate Ways and Faithfully, which are two of my favorite Journey songs on it. And then we walked in the record store the next day and boom.
Low.
Yeah, there was a reissue of Frontiers. So with reissues, there's always an interesting thing to it because, you know, a lot of times an original pressing sounds fantastic. And something like Frontiers was a bajillion copies were sold. It's something you can come across. It's not like it's a later era Van Halen where it's hard to come across on vinyl. You know, this is a record that's around. You can find it. So with a reissue on things like that, generally I won't go for the reissue because you can find it easily, you know, and in good shape, you know. Like that's the problem sometimes with some things that sold a lot of copies is you go back and you look and you can't find an original pressing in any good shape. Something like Journey, you're going to be able to find in good shape. So one might ask, why is it that I picked up the reissue of
Why
this
did
record?
you pick up the reissue of this record?
There's one asking right there. And the reason why I did is because they had a hype sticker on it that said it come with a bonus 7-inch single that includes new mixes of Only the Young and Separate Ways. And I remember I stood there and said to you, well, Separate Ways is one of my favorite Journey songs. Like, you'll have the original mix on the LP.
Yeah.
So why not have an extra, right?
Get
so
it.
You're looking at like $35 is what I paid. So we're going to go through what the usual things are that we cover in this and talk about you know, the hows and whys of what we thought of it and what we think you're going to do. Lauren's not going to contribute a ton because Journey's not her favorite thing ever.
No, I'm just going to sit here and be pretty about it.
But yeah. Packaging, nearly identical to an original. Again, I know you don't know what a Journey original pressing looks like, but the packaging is nearly identical too. I've owned several different older pressings of Frontiers over the years, and it's exactly the same. The only difference, and I'm going to put a picture of it in there, is of course inside is a 7-inch. It's a sleeve in a sleeve type thing, paper sleeve inside of a picture sleeve for the 7-inch, and American style hole in the 7-inch instead of, or I'm sorry, European style hole instead of the American hole for the jukeboxes, which is more common. Less and less people have the jukebox adapter, so that's fine that 7-inches come that way now. So packaging is, I mean, it is what it is. It's a copy of Frontiers. Like, if I was to hand you this and an original pressing, other than the fact that the original was beat up, you wouldn't know the difference. Same pressing, the inner label and everything. Sound. Here's where we go down the path of I might have messed up by buying the repress. It was not any worse than the original. Like the songs you know on this would be Separate Ways, Faithfully. Probably that's the ones you know the most.
I know
record.
those.
Yeah. It didn't sound any worse than it has before. I would never say to someone like, "Oh, those Journey reissues sound terrible." Like, it sounds as good as Frontiers ever has sounded. But it didn't sound any better than Frontiers has ever sounded.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. And the 7-inch single. Now, this is user error. This is my fault for. I don't know what I was expecting from the new mixes.
I remember when you put this on.
But they were just there.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a fan of Stranger Things, the sparse mix of Separate Ways that's used in the finale of, or near the finale of the latest season that's out.
I remember that.
That's what we're looking at here. It's like mostly the vocals and some ambient stuff in the background, which probably to the casual person would be like, oh, well, no wonder Steve Perry had something to do with it. It's all vocals, but it's geared toward the version that was popular because of the Stranger Things
okay.
on Netflix. But it's something I would never put on. Like, and you know this because out of the playlist in the car, versions of songs come up, and I always go, "Oh, this is a different version of this song that you know." And even on streaming, I put a lot of the Journey live stuff on there because I like the way Steve sings it differently. So that's kind of what I was hoping for here, and I did not get that. But again, that's user error. I could have just brought it up on streaming and been like, "I don't like that."
That's fair.
Yeah, right. That's user error. That's my fault. The record label was not like, here the best version of Separate Ways ever, and it's not on streaming. And then I paid this money and found out,
No.
So that's user error.
Okay.
Price $35. Now here's where we get a little messy though, and we've talked about this with reissues before, you can find a copy of Frontiers in good shape for $7 to $10.
Mm-hmm.
So I overpaid by like 28, so now the value for this here, again, we've always said this on the channel. It doesn't, if something's expensive or pricey doesn't mean that there's no value in it. The value for this would be if you're a Journey collector and you want those mixes, even if it's something you're not going to listen to. Like I used to collect a lot of Pink Floyd 7-inches that like, I'm not going to listen to that version of that song, but I own it.
That's fair.
Like Pink Floyd, I know people who buy the 8-track of Animals because there's a bridge solo between Pigs on the Wing 1 and 2 that's only on the 8-track.
Oh, and then
album.
they easily pull out their 8-track player and listen to it.
Yeah, but then they never listen to it ever, but they own it.
They have it and they could if they really wanted to.
Right. So for a Journey fan, if you're watching this, you probably are like, yeah, I already bought it for that mix. You know what I mean? So this video is more directed at if you're going to go, if you're like me and you go, hey, next time we see Frontiers, I want to pick it up, just walk past the one that's on the shelf, in my opinion, and go find the used copy. And like all things too, until the vinyl bubble bursts, these prices are going to keep getting higher and higher. If you find a used copy of Frontiers for $30 or $35, then just buy the reissue.
That's fair. Yeah.
But you're going to find it for an original for less, I would think. So, so those are my thoughts. And Lauren's got great thoughts on vinyl. She's just not a huge Journey fan, so it wasn't like.
I will say, Separate Ways is my favorite Journey song.
That's the one you like. That's the one you like the most.
Yep. Yeah. So there it is.
Out of all one song she likes by Journey, that's her. No, I know. I kid.
I'm coming around.
But if you would please drop a like on the video, as you know, that helps us out. If you're in any vinyl discussion groups or Journey discussion groups, by all means, share our video in there because that helps us out as well. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button because we got 4 videos every single week. Sunday is the first one. Then we got videos on Tuesday, Thursday, and reaction videos on Saturday. Drop a comment because that's what matters to us most. And as we always say, thank you so much for watching.